everywhere we go, even in the midst of conversation. In a 2015 study by the Pew Research Center, 89% of cell phone owners said that they had used their cell phones during the last social gathering they attended and felt that it hurt the conversation. We are all aware of how technology has improved over the last 5 decades, making it easier to communicate with people all around the world. Even though this is a great advancement, there seems to be a decline of personal interaction in today's society. Some of you may not consider me an expert, but I consider myself an expert in people watching. That kind of sounds creepy, but I guess I'm just observant. And so I observed that technology can be really isolating. So in this day and age, it is becoming a norm to have a cell phone, and even like the little middle schoolers I counseled at camp had cell phones and like the latest apps and whatever. I'm just like, wow, you guys are cooler than me. So today, I would like to share with you how such a great advancement of technology can cause such a downfall in society, by how it distracts people from one another, and how social media is making us less social. Got a little video to show you. Where's the volume?
Oh, I'm sorry. Behind you, Carissa, there's a cabinet.
Stop the time.
Yeah.
This one?
And the left button, there's a black button
Big
over
one?
on the left to turn it on. And you should be good to go. Give it a try.
Of his life, looking down at his cell phone. Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch. But it's no wonder in a world filled with iMacs, iPads, and iPhones, so many eyes, so many selfies, not enough us's and we's. See, technology has made us more selfish and separate than ever. Because while it claims to connect us, connection has gotten no better.
All right, that's all I have. Okay, so in a sense, smartphones are actually making dumb people, kind of, if you think about it. I'm not completely disregarding how important technology is, but when I look around and I see so many people always out on their phones as a comfort, it kind of bothers me. And so all the time we spend on our phones distracts us from interpersonal interactions. We find it less necessary to hide our divided attention because we want to hang out with our friends while we're also somewhere else. So like, let's say you go to Applebee's and you're sitting at the table, there's at least going to be 1 or 2 people on their phones, and it makes it seem like they're uninterested in what you're talking about. And there's also just like this lack of social etiquette. Sherry Turkle, contributor of the New York Times, says in her article, "Stop Googling, Let's Talk," that studies of conversation, both in the laboratory and in natural settings, show that when 2 people are talking, the mere presence of a phone on a table between them changes both what they talk about and the degree of connection they feel. People keep the conversation on topics where they don't mind being interrupted by a ring or a vibrate, and therefore it leads us to not being as interested in investing in each other. One teacher observed that students sit in the dining hall and look at their phones. When they share things together, what they are sharing is on their phones. Is this the way of new conversation? If so, it is not doing the way of old conversation. Old conversation taught empathy, and these students now are seeming to be less invested in each other. So quick story. A couple weeks ago, me and my friend were walking out to a softball game to watch my roomie, and we were like looking up at the trees, and I was like, oh, this would be a perfect place for a hammock, and then I hear a thunk, and I turn around, and my friend here ran into a tree because she's looking down on her phone. And so right there is just an example of how it can be distracting. Also, social media is making us as a society less social. Means of media such as Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, just kind of changed how we spend time with each other, because we'd rather send a cute picture with a filter on it, or like DM people because we're too scared to talk to them, whatever the case may be. Mordecai Hunter says that the reality is that there are many people who purposely craft an image of themselves that they want the world to see. This causes risks in relationships, and as a lack of openness can lead to bonds not being fully formed. There is this pressure to keep up this facade, which prevents people from truly getting to know each other. Stephen Kirktrick continues to say that the reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare behind the scenes with everyone's highlight reel. People base their self-worth on popularity with how many friends or likes they have on a photo. Lauren Sherman observed that before, if you were having a face-to-face interaction, everything is qualitative. Use someone else's gestures or facial expressions to see how effective your message is. But nowadays, people gauge the effectiveness of your message by how many likes you get, how many retweets you have, or favorites. So even though with how great today's advancements are, They cause tremendous distraction from one another and have a more intrapersonal, so me-centered effect rather than an interpersonal connection. Saladin mentioned at the end of his YouTube video, "I imagine a world when we smile with no battery, meaning we'll be one bar closer to humanity." So I challenge you to choose to not to carry your phone around. You know, you can park your phone in a room for an hour or two while you go out, get work done, or talk to people. That is all I have.